I think it just gives a lot of flexibility, and it counters a play that you can carry over to all personnel groupings. You could be in four wides. I think no one does it better than USC in this conference, and so, but that's something I think can really add to what we want to get done.
You feel like you can incorporate that even for not to get the game plan, but in the bowl game too.
Yeah, no, but we've been running counter all year. Just, hey, can we do it a little bit differently? Can we do it some different ways? But really, obviously, the move's more long term for the future. But the last 2 weeks have been spent. They've been great. 2 weeks of great bowl prep, and they've all been spent on our team and our team moving forward, and giving Rob and Roy a chance to see the guys on defense and how they fit into what we'll do next year. It's obviously not the defense we're running right now. Offensively, giving Lonnie and Jeep a chance to see how those guys fit into what we're doing right now. So that's been a lot of fun.
What does the collaboration between Lonnie and Dana look like when it comes to having a run game coordinator and an offensive coordinator?
Yeah, I think every good offensive coordinator wants to have guys who help in all kinds of areas, right? So, you have guys help you on third down, you have a guy help you in the red zone. They're all going to work together. But having someone really take the run game and bring the things to you, and then Dana can pick what he likes. I mean, Dana ultimately is the ultimate decision maker. He's the guy in charge. He calls the plays, he puts together the installs, he does the scripts. But having guys bringing ideas in, and then, like I said, Lonnie and Jeep will just work, tremendously well together.
What about Roy Manning? Why do you think he fits so well?
Well, Roy's an accomplished coach, right? I mean, he's been a lot of different places. Again, he's another guy. I mean, at the end of the day, the game. We want to coach really well. We want to retain great talent. He's recruited some of the highest level players in the country. And Rob bringing his system, wanting to bring some guys in that understand his system, that can teach his system. I've had a chance to coach against Roy when he was at Oklahoma and I was at Baylor, so it was I didn't know Roy at all. I met him when he came here, but it was just a great fit. And I think for Rob, wanting to have guys who can come in and who can be a part of teaching what he teaches from day one and not having to teach the whole staff it. Right now, it's been really one of the greatest things I've ever been a part of, is being in the room with Phil Snow and Rob, and just watching the lack of egos in there has been unreal. And so, but moving forward, once this bowl game's over, we're putting in Rob's system. And so having guys that know that system, I think will just, speed up the process.
Do you envision Coach Eckler being a part of the defensive staff moving forward, or is it just kind of temporary for the bowl game?
Yeah, I mean, he's doing it for the bowl game. There might be a world where that happens. What I don't want to do though is I don't want to. What is it, rob Peter to pay Paul? Is that how they say it? I don't want to. I mean, what we've done on special teams this year has been a major jump, and now that our players know how good the output can be from doing Coach Eckler, like the off-season drills and all the things that Coach Eckler has us do, I think the buy-in, it was great last year. I think it'll be twice as much, and so, we've had a couple other schools try to hire some of his special teams assistants, or at least interview them, Josh Martin and Nick Humphrey. So, for me, I know this is the special team system I'll use the rest of my days. So he could continue to help on defense. I'll have to wait and see how Rob feels. One of the great things about getting Rob here early was to just, A, get to know the players, but B, also see the coaches that are here and see how we can put together the best defensive staff possible.
How much does what TJ can do in the bowl game and how he plays shape what you guys think about doing in the portal with quarterbacks?
No, I think we have a great feel for what TJ can do. I think we have amazing feeling about TJ. I think, we went out to UCLA and just the way it felt on the sidelines, the way it felt in the locker room. Then we went to Penn State and things weren't going really, the way we wanted it to, but yet TJ was out there. I mean, it's probably one of the best defenses we face in terms of the talent that's on the Penn State defense. And, 3rd and 8, we call it a sprint out. He runs 12 yards for a first down. He scrambles for a first down in the red zone on 3rd and 3. He makes their amazing pass rusher. He makes them miss on the reverses out runs. Made some great throws to Ja'Cory and those guys. And so we saw there his determination. And then in the Iowa game, he pulls his hamstring. He can't really move, and yet he stays out there. He continues to compete. Some of the throws that weren't necessarily, some of those were, just miscommunication between the receiver and him, and weren't always him. And so we feel great about where TJ's at. And I think everyone in this building feels great about TJ. We obviously have to have a quarterback room, and you have to have guys in there. TJ's in the process of still developing as a player, but this has been unbelievably valuable for him, and I think we see great things for him ahead.
You mentioned these 2 weeks in Lincoln would be big for development guys, younger guys. Is there any specific guys that have stood out during these?
I'll be quite honest with you, in the portal era, I'm probably not going to say a lot of guys' names. So I think a lot of guys are working hard, and I'll leave it at that. Sorry about that.
Yeah, what will your schedule be moving forward, like in terms of Christmas and how you guys get out to Vegas?
Yeah, we'll practice. Today's like a Tuesday. tomorrow's like a Wednesday practice in season. Sunday's a in season Thursday, and then we'll let the guys go home. And then, either they'll fly with us on the 26th or they'll fly there on their own the 25th into the 26th. I think one or two guys have to come in the 26th. And then we'll start practice, right? We'll land and we will go to practice. And we're practicing at Bishop Gorman High School, and the Las Vegas Bulls done a great job. The events look amazing. The opportunities for our guys to have a great time look amazing. But the first thing we will do when we get there is we will practice. I think that sets the right tone. It's what we did last year when we went to the Giants. And then we'll do like a Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we do like kind of like a alternate Wednesday, and then a Thursday and a Friday, and then play the game.
I know it's a few days removed, and you talked about it on the radio show, but can you summarize what Dylan meant to the program and how he kind of built the brand while he was here?
Yeah, I think I'm unbelievably grateful for Dylan and his family. Taylor, his sister, she worked here. Like, she's probably one of my daughter's best friends in the world. Dayton, his younger brother. I mean, he's not a recruiter of ours, so I can speak on him. He just won the state championship. He's a winner. I'm proud of him. I love my time with Dylan. He is going to go on to great things. I love the kid. I sat down with him last week. I said, hey, go back to Georgia, man. Like, just clear your head, decide what you want to do, and then let us know. And so, he called and said he was ready for a fresh start. I wish him nothing but the best. And I'll always cheer for him. With that being said, we want the guys to want to be here. We're not gonna hold anybody here that doesn't want to be here, and we're excited to kind of move forward with TJ and the other quarterbacks we bring in.
For the bowl game, you've been helping out with the D-line. Coach Snow talked about that quite a bit earlier this week. Just what has that been like for you?
Yeah, I did it a little bit last year, then I stopped, and at the end of the day, I think the number one thing I have to do moving forward to do a better job than I did this year was coach more football. And so I will continue to find roles like this. Phil Simpson's doing a great job. He's had the edges. He's moved inside. Eckler and Roy have taken the edges, and Phil comes inside. He does such a great job with the players. But I'm out there at Indy. I'm out there at practice. I think as the head coach, I bring a freedom to those guys. I don't care if they mess up, but I do care if we're soft. We're going to be physical. We're going to be tough. And I think I'm not Coach Rhule anymore. I'm just Matt. They're calling me Matt, and I'm coaching like that, and I'm going to move forward like that. And so having Jeep here, like Jeep and I met this morning, and Lonnie, and we went through the run game. Before I was a head coach, I was a pretty decent assistant, and especially on the lines. This year, obviously, when the lines don't play very well, as a leader, I didn't do my job. I didn't insert myself enough. And, going way back to when I was at Temple and Baylor, I always went down with the D-line for Indy and took a group. I didn't do that this year, just for a lot of different dynamics, and that'll never happen again. So I take full responsibility for the lack of aggressiveness in terms of stopping the run, the lack of what happened in the red zone this year. And the only way to correct it, though, everyone wants to blame the players. I blame the coaches, and so I have to coach better. So I'll be way more involved as a D-line coach. The scheme, Rob's going to run the scheme, but I'll coach the D-line. I'll coach with the O-line when I can. I'll help Eckler with pods. Susan's going to run the program. Corey's going to run that stuff. Chris is going to run the nutrition. I'm going to be more involved in the football stuff.
Along those lines, what do you think with all the changes? When you hear the term program reset, is this a reset?
No, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I've never heard the term program reset. We're building. The program was dead for 10 years. We went to back-to-back bowl games. I don't know why why like Nebraskans, like we are moving forward. It's just not as fast as Indiana did it. And people ask me that all the time. I'm frustrated. But we did it a lot faster than some of the other teams that got hired at the same time did it. So we are just continuing to build. Coach Belichick told me years ago, it'll take you 3 years to get the right staff. So we're just every year we're evolving, we're getting better. But program reset, I mean, I don't know why anyone would say that. Just maybe it makes people click on more things. I don't know, but man, we just won 7 games. Should it have been 9? Yes, it should have been 9. So I'm tweaking. I'm just tweaking, right? Tweaking. And the thing I hope everyone appreciates at least is I sit up here all the time. I say it's me. Now I have to make tough decisions. So when I fire a coach, I'm not saying it's his fault. What I'm saying is I have to just tweak this. We got to get better and better and better. So we won 5 the first year, we won 6 the second year, we won 7 the last year. We fell apart at the end of the year. We're not doing a good enough job at the end of the season. So we're going to look at everything. That's not a reset. That's just like a process of just growing and growing and growing and building and building and building. So.
Based on what you said earlier, going forward, would it be fair to say that quarterback recruiting will be focused on dual threat prospects and portal quarterbacks?
Yeah, I just think when we think about being here at Nebraska and the impact of the weather and the wind in many games, when you look at the defensive lines that we're going to have to face in this league, just I wouldn't say even necessarily dual threat as much as I would say mobile. Like TJ's not a dual threat quarterback necessarily, but he's a mobile quarterback with above average mobility, right? And so I think that you watch college football, you're watching the guys who went Heisman, you're watching Mendoza. I watched Vanderbilt a lot. You watch Diego Pavia, he can't even grab his flag, and so. But at the end of the day, I want playmakers. When we're watching guys, I'm watching guys and saying well, how many plays do they make? It's. I don't care their ranking. I don't care their. I told Glenn's an amazing quarterback coach. He's coached so many great players. He's gotten 2 freshmen in Dylan last year and this year in TJ ready to play as true freshmen. But I don't care about their arm slot. I don't care about the rotation. I don't care about any of that. I want guys who make their team win. I want guys who put championships on the wall. I want guys and part of that's making plays with your legs. And so, but we'll try to find the best available player. You can win with a lot of shapes and forms, but I do think the wind here and the weather. It's why Coach Osborne told me from day one, hey, you better have the ability to have a quarterback who can run the football. And so, we did that with TJ and UCLA. We couldn't do it at Iowa. It was a big part of the Iowa game plan that kind of went away early, and I think that's what we'll concentrate on some guys like that as we move forward.
You mentioned being more involved with the D-line. Do you have a good feel for making another hire to fill for Terry, or how is that? How do you see that breaking down with Roy working with the edges and everything?
Yeah, I think we're going to get to after the bowl game and figure out the final parts of the staff defensively. As I said to you guys before, we're not looking to make any more firings. But if we add somebody, we'll see where that is at that time. A lot of this for Rob is just kind of seeing how it's all going. I have to get his take on it. But right now Rob goes in with the defensive staff right now. Then he's meeting with the players one-on-one and just building a vision for each player of how they fit into what we need, so that when we do have the portal open up, we'll see which players decide to stay with us, and then there's going to be a lot of players that would like to come to Nebraska, and so we'll see who fits that. But the main thing right now is we've recruited a lot of good, young, talented players, and we've got to put a system together that allows them to play well.
Matt, I think Justin Rhett's your only Las Vegas native, and I think he's a Bishop Gorman kid too. How excited is he to get home?
Yeah, you probably have to ask him. Justin's been a really, really good addition to us. He came over to our house for Thanksgiving and really got to know him on a personal level. Justin eats gluten-free like my whole family, not me, but my family does. And so he's just a really, really talented young man, a really good person, and just kind of, waiting his turn. Had a concussion in camp to hold him back a little bit. But, I think you'll see him play a good bit in this game, and I think you're going to see really good things with him moving forward. But I'm sure he's happy to get back there and see all his family.
Coach, about the running backs, knowing that Emmett's not going to be there, have you noticed a different attitude from the guys, and how much progress and importance has this last couple of weeks been for those guys?
I think that's I think they've been excited all along. I think they obviously they want to play. I think every time they've gotten into a game, they've done something good with the balls when they've gotten them. But Emmett had an amazing year, a breakout year, and so. This is their opportunity to play. Like, it's one thing to go in and catch a screen and come back out, or run a ball and come back out. Like, they're going to play. And so a big part of that is, obviously we're playing Utah. We're playing Kyle Whittingham. We're playing Morgan Scalley. We're playing a great defense, and they pressure a lot. It's a lot of man pressure. So those guys are going to have to show up not just in running the football and making plays, but also in the protection game. And that's really amazing about what Emmett did this year wasn't like he just carried the football. He picked up blitzes. He ran routes. He really did it all. And it was a good time for him to go to the National Football League, right? He was very fortunate with the amount of carries he had this year to not get banged up. And so it's these guys' turn, and they got to go play really well. And I think if you talk to the guys on our team, I think everyone has a lot of belief in that room. We had 2 all-conference players in that room, with Kenneth as a kick returner, so people have tried to come and hire EJ away because he did a good job. And I think you're going to see him do a great job with those guys. And I think you'll see Isaiah. I think you'll see Mekhi. I think you'll see Quentin. I think you'll see Kenneth, whoever gets in the most. But I think you'll see them all play well.
Did those defensive linemen see a side of you that they maybe hadn't seen before?
Yes. I probably should have done this a long time ago. So we all have to live with our We'll have to live with our decisions. We have to live with our regrets. I think sometimes as a head coach with an organization this size, you feel like you have to let your coaches coach a little bit. I've had some great defensive line coaches come work for me, I just probably didn't get involved enough. I'm not Newt Rockney. I'm not saying that, but I do think them seeing me as a football coach is a really good thing, and. Like I said, I put my hat on backwards. I just become Matt. I take my hat off. I become Coach Rhule. I would take my hat off here. I never wear a hat in here, but my hair looks a mess right now because I'm wearing a hat. And I didn't want to keep it on backwards. I thought that was a bad look. But no, I'll brag about myself for a second. Riley was like, I don't understand why you just don't do this full time. Well, it's kind of hard to do it full time. But me and Phil can do it together, and we're doing it at a high level. And we have another guy that, is helping us kind of temporary. That's great. D-line guy that hopefully can help us at the bowl game too. But I do think it brings a different relationship, and it brings a different intensity, to things. Sierra said to me, he said, I think you should do this, be this person all the time. And so that's why, I said what I said to Seth, I understand people's frustrations and things like that, but if anyone ever just understood what we walked into, they'd be amazed at what we've done behind the scenes. And so I've had to do a lot of that stuff because someone else didn't do it. I shouldn't have had to do it. Some people take over programs, they don't have to do that. We had to do a lot of stuff. And so now I get to be more involved with the football. And I think we made some great hires. I think we'll make a couple more great hires. And I think we'll continue to make progress. I don't know that it'll ever be as fast as everyone wants. Someone's going to lose the game tonight. Someone's going to lose the playoff game tonight, and that fan base is going to be frustrated. And so it just is what it is, and I appreciate that. I love it. I'm just trying to do what Coach Hoiberg did, man. Just keep building and building and building. And so, but I do think, Sam, coaching football for me is a big part of this. And I did what I had to do for the first couple of years to get a lot of things where they are. But between Susan and Haven and Courtney and Troy, that stuff's all built now, right? Pat Stewart, the addition of Pat Stewart has been so beneficial. There's so much stuff that he gets done that I was doing before. So I can now go back to kind of this.
Has the new calendar for the transfer portal also helped in allowing you to get back to coaching around this time?
Yeah, it was a major significant change when they no longer, you can't bring people in on visits in December. There's obviously still guys announcing that they're going to go in the portal and things like that, but they can't come on campus. And so, it used to be you went out at this time of year. So then when you came back, you had to do your best. I'm able to sit in defensive meetings all day with the defensive staff. I'm able to go in and meet with Jeep. I'm able to sit one-on-one with Dana and watch a couple games, and then go in with the personnel guys and watch players. So they brought a little bit of sanity to this month, which is great. So yeah, I think it's been really good for our team to have the coaching staff around for these 3 weeks. And then, we would have hired Rob and sent him on the road. And what they're getting a chance now is the O-line's getting a chance to see how Jeep coaches and how Rob coaches. And I think that's really beneficial because, when you make change, a lot of these guys, when there's uncertainty, they get anxious. When they're anxious, they panic. I think, having the coaches here and coaching them, I think has eased a lot of uncertainty for a lot of guys. All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's been an absolute blast to have Matt out there coaching us as a position group. I think within the D tackle, specifically the D line, and then translating to the whole defense, it brings a whole new energy, even to the team as the offense. Just how the last few practices have been, it's just been competitive, going after it. No breaks during practice. He's fully on the gas, and so it's a lot of fun. And then we're up there in the meetings, and just the knowledge he has is unbelievable. And you're also getting to connect with him even more. Like, I think as a head coach, he's already really close with everyone on this team. But then, like, it's kind of, we're in a special spot because we're getting to be a little bit closer to him and build that relationship with him inside that room. So it's a lot of fun, and it's also fun to see how much he enjoys it. Like, he has his hat on backwards. He's out there laughing, you know, making jokes. But then, like, when it's time to work, it's time to work, and he doesn't mess around.
What is the challenge you face in this bowl game? Just when you study Utah's offensive line, I know a couple of those key guys aren't going to play in the bowl for them, but what have you seen in general?
Yeah, seasoned group, well respected, very well group. They play together very well. Center, he had high or I can't think of the word, but he was Remington or something like that. Guards have played, Allen, my bad. Guards play well, tackles play well. Like I said, they play well together. They're fun to watch. You know, they have a different style offense than what we see a lot. You know, we see a lot of zones and stuff. They're going to run a lot of powers, counters, do a lot of wildcat. They're gonna mix it up. But at the end of the day, there's 4 directions they can go, and you have to react to that. You have to know what's gonna happen. But I think it'll be a very fun game to go play because they're such like a high respected group. You can go out there and really test yourself, individually, test yourself as like a unit, and go out there and play and get someone with that skill.
What have your early interactions been like with Coach Rob?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love him. You know, he's fun. He brings another energy as well. From day one, like the first day he was here, he's out there. He's not stepping on anyone's toes because, you know, Coach knows the defensive coordinator, but he's out there coaching. You know, he's met with us. Like, I've sat in his office and talked to him just about life, about me, about football, about where he sees me, all that, this, then the third. So it's fun to have some fresh eyes in there. You know, you connect with them real well, just slowly starting to build that relationship. But like, I see it just skyrocketing up from here. He's out there. He's not just sitting back and enjoying, but he's like, we're going to go win this game, and he's going to help us do that to the best of his ability.
There's a lot of guys who are sophomores or younger on this roster. Do you sense with these bowl practices a little bit of this is my time with guys to, you know, step into roles?
Yeah, 100%. And along with that, the bowl practices, it's, you know, everyone always talks about the development of like young guys, but it's also the development of the team across the board, I think. You're going to have the guy, like, even, you know, we have seniors still playing, obviously, but then you're seeing who's going to step up and fill those open roles come around next season. Everyone's getting to develop, especially defensively, bringing in a new coordinator, new system. He's getting to learn us. We're getting to learn him. But, like, there's guys in the D-line room like Landon Davis and Ashton Murphy, like younger guys like that, who you can just see the jumps they've made in 2 weeks, probably, 7 practices maybe. So it's just fun to see that across the board.
Coach Rhule mentioned on the radio you were in a black jersey. I get lost sometimes in who's been in one and not. Was that your first time? Or
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what did that mean to you, I guess?
Yeah, you know, what was it, Wednesday, got it for the first time, and it meant a lot. I think just the history of what a black shirt is for this school and this program meant a lot to open up my laundry locker and see that there. Put a lot of work in for it. I'm excited, just the opportunity it gives me. You know, the biggest piece now is, like, every day you're not in one, you're working to get one, and now it's, you can't let up. Like, you got to keep going. You got to work to prove that you deserve to be in that jersey, and just keep going and be someone that can represent this defense that we want to be in, this program, and how we want to play.
It's the second year in a row you guys are in a bowl. How much do you have kind of the routine down and now what a bowl month is and what you guys try to do in a bowl month?
Yeah, the routine's good. You know, it gives you a little bit more of a breather than season does. A little bit more lax on the schedule. You have more time. Not everything, you know, you're not going to play this Saturday. You got time, and it's only an X amount of practices we can have, so we're practicing, and the next day we're meeting and lifting, doing all that. And it's good because it kind of helps you get your body back. You can get out here, get a breath of fresh air every once in a while, but then you come in, you get a full day, you know, with school winding down, you get a full day of just football, install, watching the tape, watching practice, this, that, extra lifts, mobility, anything that you need. Go out, practice like crazy the next day, and then you have the next 36 hours or so to get ready for that next practice.
What do you feel like will be different about the defensive line in this bowl game than what you guys put out through the last couple of games of the regular season?
I think we're going to have an attitude. That's something that Matt has brought towards us. We've simplified a lot of things, and we're going to go out there. It's kill or be killed. You eat what you kill. That's kind of what we talk about sometimes, and we're going to go out there and we're going to play with a little bit of swagger and a little bit of attitude to us.
So what was the moment when Coach Rhule comes down to you guys and you're like, oh, this is different. This is a different coach. What was that moment for you?
It was so. I remember like Phil Simpson was running our meeting 2 weeks back, and then the next day out at practice, he was like, Matt texted us and was like, or he texted me. He was like, get the D tackles out on the field at like 8:40. I think we started at 9, and we walk out there, and he's like standing in the door of the weight room, and like I said, he literally had his hat on backward, and he's like waiting for. It's like 8:35, 8:34. You think you're early, and he's like waiting for you, like where you at, and everyone gets out there, and he starts going over things. He's like, I'm with y'all now, and just from right then, it was just like it's time to go to work, and he had that energy, had that like you could tell. It was itching at him. He always talks about how he loves to be out there and actually coach. And I remember like halfway through that practice that first day, I looked at him and I was like, can you just hire yourself as the full-time D-line coach? Like this is like just look what it's doing to the team, to the unit, to us. Like we were playing amazing and we've carried that over. And it's just a lot of fun. You can tell it's been digging at him. He wants to get out there and be hands-on and coach with us. And it's also fun to receive that from a head coach.
Anything else for Rob?
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm progressing by the day. I got a chance to get a couple reps in that practice, so I'm only getting better by the day.
Did you have any conversations with Dylan within the last couple of weeks, and what did he share with you?
Yeah, I had a conversation with him. I just told Dylan, like, ever since I got here, he's only helped me get better. Like, being around him made me a better player. Us competing against each other made me a better player. So I just told him, like, best of luck, and you made me a better player while you were here.
A year ago at this time, you were just getting ready to join the team for the first time at the Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah.
When you kind of think back of your journey, like, how would you sum up what this 12 months has been like for you?
It's crazy. It came fast. Like, literally, like you said, I was just getting ready to go to New York with them and watch the bowl game, and it's crazy how now I'm playing in the bowl game. So it's crazy.
What do you think you've sort of grown the most in through this experience, playing and developing under these coaches?
Just the understanding of football. It's a lot of movement. It's more than just throwing the ball to the open receiver. So just understanding the playbooks, understanding what's going on the defensive side of the ball, understanding checks, just little things like that so that I can execute at the highest level.
It's exciting. How exciting is it for you to go back to the West Coast? Vegas is pretty close to LA. I mean, how much family and friends we have at the bowl game?
Yeah, so my grandma lives in Vegas, so she'll be able to watch me play. She's always watched me on TV since I was in high school, so she'll finally get a chance to watch me play. So I'm put on for my grandma for sure.
What's the challenge of the Utah defense from what you've been able to see?
They play fast, they play hard, and they play physical. They're going to play a lot of man. They're going to probably heat me up a little bit.
What are you seeing out of those those young backs as Isaiah and Makai, as they're I'm sure eager to get their crack at it in this bowl game.
Oh yeah, it's been fun with those guys. They've always watched Emmett. Emmett's been a good like big bro to them, so they've always watched Emmett. So now it's their opportunity to be able to go show what they got, and during practice, the intensity is up for sure. So I'm excited for those guys, both of them.
What you gonna learn about yourself as a quarterback in the Penn State game and the Iowa game?
I learned a lot. Just poise. I just learned poise. I learned a lot from those games.
How frustrating was it in that Iowa game when you couldn't be at your full self?
It was very frustrating. It was a tough game for me, very frustrating, but I learned a lot from that game.
Coach Rhule's talked about putting the hat on backwards and getting in there coaching a little more. Have you seen much of that change from your perspective?
Yeah, that's Matt. When the hat's backward, that's Matt. When the hat's forward, that's Coach Rhule. So I love having Matt at practice.
What's the difference?
The difference is it's intensity. When the hat's backwards, more intensity. With the team more, not that he wasn't before, but you know what I'm saying, just more involved in everything. You know what I'm saying? So, I love it.
Anything else for TJ?
What do you hope personally to get out of the bowl game?
I want to win. That's it.
Good. You think there's anything that you haven't shown maybe to the coaching staff or anything like that next level that you want to show in these coming weeks?
What do you mean?
Just in terms of like a element of your game or anything as you look ahead to 2026 in the quarterback room there?
Yeah, we'll worry about that when that time comes, but we still in 25, so when 26 comes, we'll worry about that.
The talk of adding another quarterback to the room, a transfer, a more experienced transfer. Do you welcome that challenge, or are you not even thinking about that right now?
I'm not worried about it, and if that happens, that's fine with me. I like to compete regardless.
Are you willing to help that guy, whoever it is, kind of learn the offense and learn the ropes around here?
Yes, of course.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.